This Shedeur Sanders quarterback situation in Cleveland just going to get more and more messy as time goes. But ESPN First Take, Stephen A. Smith, Mina Kine, Dan Orlovsky, and those guys gave their thoughts on, how it should play. And also Ryan Clark gave their thoughts on how it should play out. Take a listen to this clip, and I'm going to get my comments right after, but listen to this, and y'all remember to drop those comments when we get done.
It happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of thing. Young players, I'm always thinking about.
Nope.
Last week, making the change to Dylan, you have to think long and hard about that because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out, make a decision later on that.
I think it's a little foul to me. I'm deferring to three exceptional NFL minds, and I know that. But just giving my opinion, you ever heard of the smell test? That something just don't smell right. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel. Like when Joe Flacco got demoted, y'all, I was like, okay, he should be the QB3 because why would you bench him and then leave him as the QB2 when you're elevating Dylan Gabriel to the QB1 and Shedeur Sanders is right there starving and waiting for an opportunity? So I looked at it like that and I just said to myself, okay, but that's how it goes. Joe Flacco's a veteran. Kevin Stefanski, knows what he's doing as a coach, etc. But then something like this happens. We're supposed to sit here and believe that Bailey Zappi is a guy that's the QB2 on this squad. Really, that's what we're doing now. I just find that to be a bit fishy. And so, Dylan Gabriel obviously is your QB1. He's a guy that has earned the opportunity to do that. Mina pointed out last week accurately so. He had a better performance in the preseason than Shedeur Sanders did. I get that part. Shedeur Sanders played well, albeit against Carolina. Obviously, another game in the preseason, not so much. And I get that part, too. And, of course, I get the fact that he's practicing with the team every day so the coach knows. I'm just finding it hard to believe that it's so difficult to name him a QB2, especially when you say you're so invested in the kid's development. Well, Dylan Gabriel, even though he's played far significantly more in college, like 64 games in college over a 6-year period, I get that part. But still in all, I don't like how this feels. I just don't.
I agree with Stephen A. Smith 100%. Seems fishy, always has. And if y'all don't remember, they were told not to draft him. That was to all 32 teams. And it just seemed like he was never welcomed by Kevin Stefanski. So in that aspect, is it seem fishy? Absolutely. But you got to remember, the NFL owners, they collude. It's a country club, man. Let's keep it real. We knew Shedeur Sanders had talent. He showed it in preseason. He showed it in college football. Dylan Gabriel, 6 years in college, Shedeur in 5. So they had a lot of college experience. And to me, Shedeur had the best numbers out of any of the quarterbacks in the 2025 class. So he should have actually been taken way before he was taken in the 5th round. But that's neither here nor there. But listen to what Ryan Clark and Mina Kine had to say.
Very rare for a rookie quarterback to back up another rookie quarterback. And I actually think that is a valid explanation. It doesn't mean technically that Zappi is more important to the franchise than Shedeur, or they even think he's better in the long term than Shedeur. It means if we're going to Pittsburgh and Dylan Gabriel gets hurt, we want an experienced quarterback to back him up. That is kind of the norm in the NFL. I mean, it's very unusual, and Dan, you know this, for a rookie to back up another rookie. All of that said, I am in agreement with Stephen A. about the sense I'm getting, which is the coaching staff doesn't believe in Shedeur Sanders. And that's their right. I do wonder, though, if organizationally they need to consider a trade or moving on, giving him a chance to.
I think whatever Kevin Stefanski says is fair because it's Kevin Stefanski's team and it's his process. I also think it's extremely obvious that Kevin Stefanski doesn't mess with Shedeur Sanders the way the outside public believes that he should. When you think about this process, it feels that Kevin Stefanski wasn't ready to draft Shedeur Sanders, and then upon drafting him, he didn't put a plan in place to handle the person.
An excuse.
And I understand full agreement with Mina. If he is not named the backup quarterback, it's time to part ways. It's time to trade him. It's time to get him out of your locker room because clearly your plan for development is not to develop Shedeur Sanders as a future starter of your team, and too much comes with him if you don't see that sort of plan for him.
This is the point that I've been trying to drive home since the jump, man. If you know you don't want him in Cleveland, you know you're not going to develop him, trade him. It's just that simple. If you feel like it's a publicity nightmare, trade the kid. I mean, to somebody, because I can think of three teams right now. Here are 3 teams right here. I feel like I can use him right now. And each of those teams, quarterback future is uncertain. Mainly Miami Dolphins, because we all know Tua Tagovailoa, he's 1 hit away from a career-ending hit. So, yeah, if any of those 3 teams or any other teams out there feel like they can, develop him, make him, an NFL caliber quarterback, develop him into being an NFL caliber quarterback, go for it. Because you don't want to end up like the Giants, season in limbo already because of Russell Wilson. You don't want to end up like Miami, quarterback 1 hit back to purgatory for y'all. So, as I look at this, man, either you deal with him, develop him, or you find a way to get rid of him and trade him. It's just that simple. And it don't get no simpler than that. But like I said, man, at the beginning of this video, y'all know what to do, man. Drop those comments, and we're going to holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.